we have to start from a starting line and we have to reach up to the finishing line. We know that our starting line is selection of the problem. We start from a problem and that solution. In between, first we identify the problem, then we formulate the objectives, then we formulate the hypothesis, then we collect the data, we analyze the data and we draw inferences. It is not possible to discuss about all the steps. I will discuss in detail about only one step of research, that is analysis of data. Please keep in the entirety of your mind, I am going to discuss in detail about the analysis of data. We know that to analyze data, we require statistical techniques. Without the application of statistical techniques, it's not possible to analyze data. And these statistical techniques are known as inferential statistics. All statistical techniques are known as inferential statistics. Then the question arises, why these are known as inferential statistics? These are applied to draw inferences. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some limitations of statistics. It is not possible to discuss about all the limitations. One main limitation is statistical laws are not exact. By the analysis of data, we get probable answer. So all inferential statistics are subdivided into two categories, parametric and non-parametric. We directly apply parametric, but we cannot apply any parametric technique directly. Some assumptions should be fulfilled. Then the question arises, what are these assumptions? First assumption is the data should be normally distributed. If the data is normally distributed, in that case we have to apply parametric, otherwise we have to apply parallel non-parametric technique. Second main assumption is interval or ratio scale is required. At least interval or ratio scale is required. We cannot apply parametric technique in remaining two scales of measurements, and the remaining two scales of measurements are nominal scale and ordinal scale. On the other hand, non-parametric technique can be applied in any distribution, in any scale of measurement, in nominal scale, in ordinal scale, in interval scale, and in a ratio scale. So, if I ask a question from you, what will be your first step after the collection of data? Again I repeat, I am asking a question from all scholars. Suppose you have collected the data, and after the collection of the data, what will be your first step? It means first step should be you have to test the normality. Why? We have to opt, either we have to apply parametric or we have to apply. Is it okay? So now we are going to discuss. Suppose we have collected data, we have raw scores, and we are going to analyze. But before analysis, we have to decide whether we have to apply parametric or non-parametric. Now the first step should be testing normality. Now the main story starts. We have to check the normal distribution. I will discuss in detail how the normality is checked by SPSS, Statistical Package for Social Sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, we have three methods. By using that, we can check the normality. First one is descriptive statistics. Second one is a graphical method. And third one is a formal test. Three methodologies, three ways are available. By using that, by applying that, we can test the normality. Let's discuss one by one. Let's start with the first, that is descriptive statistics. After hearing the word descriptive statistics, measures of central tendency and measures of variability comes in front of our mind. Mean, median, mode, range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, standard deviation. No, all descriptive measures are not required. Only 4 measures are required. We have to calculate only 4 measures. By calculating these 4 measures, we will decide whether data is normally distributed or non-normally distributed. These are, first one is skewness. That is denoted by capital S and small k, skewness. Skewness measures the symmetricity of the curve. If the curve is symmetrical, then we can apply parametric, otherwise we have to apply parallel non-parametric technique. We require standard error of skewness. We require kurtosis. Kurtosis measures the flatness of the curve, and fourth measure that is required is known as standard error of kurtosis. Again I repeat, 4 measures are required: skewness, standard error of skewness, kurtosis, and standard error of kurtosis. 4 measures are required. We have to calculate. We will discuss how to calculate by using SPSS. Now, how to take decisions? How many measures are required? 4. There are different ways. On the basis of that, we can take decisions. Simplest way is the value of skewness should be less than the value of standard error of skewness, and the value of kurtosis should be less than the value of standard error of kurtosis. Another way is on the basis of only 2 measures, that is skewness and kurtosis, we can decide. Thumb rule is the value of skewness and kurtosis should be in between the range of -1 to 1. If the value of skewness and kurtosis is in between -1 to 1, we can say that data is normally distributed. Otherwise, we can say that data is non-normally distributed, and we have to apply parallel non-parametric technique instead of parametric technique. How many methods are available? No, 3 methods to test the normality. About how many methods we have discussed? 1. And in first method, how many measures are required? Either 4 or 2. Again I repeat, we have 2 different ways. On the basis of that, we can take the decision. First one is the value of skewness and kurtosis should be less than their respective standard errors. Second way is only on the basis of only 2 measures, that is skewness and kurtosis. If the value of skewness and kurtosis is in between -1 to 1. Okay, let's proceed to the next, that is graphical method. We know that in a graph we have x-axis and y-axis. This graphical method that is used to test the normality is known as QQ plot. QQ plot is a graphical method. By using that, we can test the normality. A standard line, how to take decisions? A standard line is generated. All the scores should be scattered near to this line. If all the scores are scattered near to this line, we can say that data is normally distributed. Otherwise, data is non-normally distributed. Out of 3 methods, about how many methods we have discussed? 2. Descriptive, graphical. Third method is a formal test. Formal tests are used to test the normality only. There is no other use. There is a long list of formal tests, but we require only 1. We require only 1 to test the normality, but we will discuss about few tests, but we have to apply only 1 test, only 1 formal test to test the normality. The formal tests which are in tradition are KST, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Again I repeat, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Second one is SWT, Shapiro-Wilk test. Shapiro-Wilk test. Third one is ADT, Anderson-Darling test. Fourth one is RJT, Rayan-Joyner test. Again I repeat the name: KST, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test; SWT, Shapiro-Wilk test; ADT, Anderson-Darling test; RJT, Rayan-Joyner test. About or by using which software we are going to analyze? SPSS. Out of these 4 formal tests, SPSS provide the facility of first 2 tests. Please keep in your mind, the facility by SPSS is provided of Kolmogorov-Smirnov test and Shapiro-Wilk test. Either use Kolmogorov-Smirnov test or use Shapiro-Wilk test by using SPSS. Now, I will show you practically. Again I repeat, there are three methods by using that we can test the normality: descriptive, graphical, formal. But important point is, testing normality depends on the sample size. This is the most important point of discussion. Testing normality depends on the sample size. I hope you have the concept of sample size. There was a concept of two sample sizes, small sample size and large sample sizes. Below 30 considered as small sample, 30 and above? No. This concept has been changed by the eminent scholars from the field of statistics. Instead of two sample sizes, now there is a concept of three sample sizes. Small sample, the concept of small sample is the same. Less than 30 considered as a small sample. The concept is same as previous one. One range is added, that is moderate sample size. Moderate sample size means if you conduct your study by taking 30 to 100 samples, that will be considered as moderate sample size. And next category is large sample size. If you conduct your study by taking more than 100 or 100 subjects, that will be considered as a large sample. It means method to test the normality for small sample will be different. Way of testing moderate sample size will be different. Way of testing large sample will be different. Let's discuss one by one. Let's start with the first, testing normality of small sample size. Testing normality of small sample size. If you are going to conduct your study by taking less than 30 subjects, how the normality will be tested? Answer is in a single sentence, there is no need to test. Always assume that data is non-normal and directly apply non-parametric technique instead of parametric technique. Next, testing normality of. Now we are going to discuss about the testing normality of. Sir, we have discussed the normality testing of small sample size. We have discussed. I have said that in case of small sample, there is no need to test. Directly assume that data is non-normal and apply non-parametric instead of parametric. Now we are going to discuss about testing normality of moderate sample size. I have said earlier that my delivery will not be one process. It's not my testing, but for my confidence level, satisfactory reply is expected. Now we are going to talk about the testing normality of moderate sample size. How many methods we have? Three methods. Write down step by step. First, apply formal test. First, apply formal test. What will be the answer? What will be the answer? Will be yes or no? Answer will be normal or non-normal. Is it okay? If the answer is normal, please try to understand my point. If the answer is normal, normal is normally distributed. If the answer is yes, normally distributed by formal test, then 100% do not rely on formal test. Cross test by using remaining two methods, and remaining two methods are descriptive statistics and graphical method. Is it okay? Second answer may be not normal. In that case, if the answer is non-normal by formal test, accept the results and apply non-parametric technique. That's all. Is it okay? Now we are going to test the normality of. We are going to test the normality of large sample size. Write down the steps. First, apply formal test, same as moderate sample size. First, apply formal test, same as moderate sample size. If the answer is yes, then there is no need to cross test. Accept the results and apply parametric technique. Is it okay? If the answer is no, then cross test the non-normality. There in moderate sample size we cross tested the normality, and here we are going to test the non-normality. Why? Answer is these formal tests are very accurate in case of large sample, and these are very sensitive in case of moderate sample size. These formal tests are formulated by considering large sample size. Is it okay? Now we will do practically how to test the normality. Suppose you are going to conduct a study by taking 30 subjects. The sample size is no less than 30. Please see, less than 30. 30 is considered as 30 to 130 is the lowest range of moderate sample size. That will be considered as the lowest range of moderate sample size. We are going to conduct a study by taking 30 subjects. In which category this falls? Moderate sample size. See how to test the normality by using SPSS. We are going to test the normal distribution by using SPSS. How many ways we have? 3. First one is graphical descriptive statistics. How many measures in descriptive statistics are required? 4. Second method is graphical method is known as QQ plot. Third method is a formal test. How many formal tests we have? Long list. I mentioned only 4. There is a long list of formal tests, and the SPSS provide us the facility of only 2. That is Kolmogorov-Smirnov test and Shapirov-Wilk test. I hope you have a basic idea about SPSS. Please see that screen. This is see my cursor. This is a data view. This is a variable view. In data view, we have to enter the scores. Suppose you are going to conduct your study by taking a blood pressure, and I am going to enter the scores of blood pressure. How many scores I have to enter? 30. Since we are going to conduct a study on 30 subjects, see, I am going to enter these scores. I am entering 30 scores. We are going to test the normality. I entered 30 scores. Now go to variable view, give the name of this variable. What is the name of this variable? Blood pressure. Now I am going to give the name BP, blood pressure. Is it okay? Data entry is complete. I repeat, we are going to test the normality by using 3 methods: descriptive measures, QQ plot, that is a graphical method, and we will give the command for Kolmogorov-Smirnov test and Shapirov-Wilk test. You may write down and see. Go to analyze, then go to descriptive measures, then go to explore, click on explore, bring this blood pressure, our today's variable, in dependent list, go to plots, and where is my cursor? Normality plots with test. By giving this single command, we will get QQ plot as well as Kolmogorov-Smirnov test and Shapirov-Wilk test results. Continue, go to statistics. Already descriptive statistics is selected. Continue, click on OK. The results will be in front of you. Please tell me, what's our first method? Descriptive statistics. In descriptive statistics, how many measures are required? 4. Again I repeat: skewness, standard error skewness, kurtosis, and standard error kurtosis. See my cursor, see the arrow. See, this is skewness, and the value of skewness is 0.622, and the standard error is this. there is a slight deviation, there is a slight defect in kurtosis, but this skewness may be considered as up to the mark, since the thumb rule is if the value of skewness and kurtosis is in between -1 to 1. Is it okay? What is the second method? What is the second method? What is the name of that graphical method? QQ plot. See the result. See the result of QQ plot. See. This is the QQ plot. A standard line is generated. All the scores should be scattered near to this line. Is it okay? More or less, all the scores are scattered near to this line. We can say that data is normal. Is it okay? Third method is formal test. See, the first formal test is, see the results of, see, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test and Shapiro-Wilk test. Is it okay? Now, without saving, I close this file. Now, I am making this distribution. I am going to make this set of scores consisting of 30 scores severely non-normal. See, on 10th serial number, I am making is 444. Is it okay? We know that this score is exceptional score, and this single score will distort the entire distribution. Agree? Now I am giving the command analyze, descriptive, explore. Okay. Now see the value of skewness and kurtosis. See, severely deviated, severely skewed, and value of kurtosis is 29.91, and this should be in between -1 to 1 for normality. Is it okay? See the QQ plot also. See the QQ plot also. See, this single score is scattered away. The scores are scattered away from the center. All the scores should be scattered near to center line for normality purposes. Is it okay? Now, how to take decisions? In the first condition, we have given command twice. In first, the data is normally distributed. In second, non-normal. In case of non-normality, we have only two options. This is the main important point. Please try to keep in the entirety of your mind. We have two different options here. First one is directly apply non-parametric. But since only one single score distorted the entire, in that case, we can find out the outliers. We can find out the exceptional score. Ladies and gentlemen, remove that exceptional score. Instead of conducting your study by taking 30 subjects, conduct your study by taking only 29 subjects. Please keep in your mind, if we eliminate any score during the screening of data, that will not be considered as unethical issue. But if you eliminate any score after the production of the results, in that case, that will be considered as unethical issue. So, next part is how to find out outliers. Here in this example, we know that the 10th score is an outlier. 10th score is but suppose you are having thousands or lakhs of scores, then how you will identify the outliers? If only there are 1-2 outliers, you can remove. Is it okay? The outliers are identified by the help of box plots. The outliers are identified by the help of box plots. Then the question arises, what will be the command for box plot? What will be the command? There is no need to give additional command for the box plots. Automatically that is there. See the box plot. See, this is the box plot. It is written, which score is outlier? 10th score. It is mentioned. See the screen. It is mentioned that 10th score is an outlier and this single score distorted the entire distribution. So, since there is only one outlier, remove this score and conduct the study by taking only 29. Without saving, I am closing this. Now I am going to see the screen. I am going to remove this score. Now how many scores are there? Only 29. Again I am giving the command analyze, descriptive, explore, okay, see the box plot. No. How many outliers are there? Now 4 outliers are also there. Now in this case you have to apply only non-parametric. It's clear? Is it okay? Now we have discussed how to test the normal distribution. Why we test it? Why we test it? Why we tested normality? I am asking that why we test this normality, and you are answering to test normality. To decide which technique will be applied, either parametric or is it okay? The first step in front of us is first test the normality. Now suppose we tested normality. If the data is normal, apply parametric. If the data is non-normal, apply. Now we will discuss about the application of different techniques. We started from this statistical techniques, and all the statistical techniques are divided into how many categories? It is written on the screen, parametric and. To understand in a better way, we divide parametric statistics into 2 different parts, that is comparative and relationship studies. We divide into 2 parts, that is comparative and relationship studies. If I ask a question from you, the smallest type of comparison is possible in which condition? Please give me any example of the smallest comparison. Answer is we require minimum 2 groups. If I ask a question, what type of smallest comparison is possible, the answer will be we require 2 groups, means in between 2 groups. Is it okay? Now we will discuss how to compare 2 groups. After that, we will discuss how to compare more than 2 groups. If the time will permit, we will discuss how to compare by taking a covariate. Only these 3 types of comparisons are possible between 2 groups, among more than 2 groups, and by taking covariate. And if we talk about the relationship, the smallest type of relationship is possible between 2 variables. Please note, comparison is possible between groups and relationship is possible between variables. And the smallest is possible between 2 variables and among more than 2 variables. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to quantify the relationship in that condition, we have to apply regression. Let's discuss one by one. From where we have to start? Now we are going to start from comparison between 2 groups. The technique which is used to compare 2 groups is known as t-test. The technique which is used to compare 2 groups is known as t-test. Actually, if we talk about in the language of statistics, actually this t-test do not compare 2 groups. This t-test compare the means of 2 groups. Actually that compare the means of 2 groups. In layman's language, we can say that this technique is used to compare 2 groups. Actually, this technique is used to compare the means of 2 groups. Or in exact words, in specific words, we can say that t-test is a statistical technique used to find out the significant difference between the means of 2 samples. Actually, we try to find out the significant difference between the means of 2 samples. Significant difference between the means of 2 groups. But two groups can be compared, two columns can be compared in three different ways. It means there are three different types of t-tests. It means there are three different types of t-tests. Let's discuss one by one. Let's start with the first. First one is independent t-test. The first technique is known as independent t-test. How many t-tests are there? Three. All three compare two columns. All three compare two different groups. Independent t-test is used to compare two independent groups. Independent t-test is used to compare two independent group. One word is added, independent. But by going through the different literatures, maybe possible we may become confused. Why? In different books, in different literatures, this independent t-test is known by different names. So we should not be confused. This independent t-test is known by four different names in different literatures. Another name is simple t-test. Another name is student t-test. Another name is unpaired t-test. Again I repeat, this independent t-test is known by four different names. Independent t-test, simple t-test, student t-test, unpaired t-test. Now, we will discuss in detail about the application of this technique. Let's formulate a simple example. Comparison of the aggression between males and females. Write down the title. Comparison of aggression between males and females. How many groups are there? Male and female. Both groups are independent. The research scholar is going to conduct this study by taking only 40 subjects, 20 males and 20 females. Is it okay? Then the question arises, is it compulsory to take equal sample size? In our hypothetical example today, we are taking an equal sample size, 20 males, 20 females. Answer is, the technique may be applied by taking equal sample sizes as well as in case of unequal sample sizes. You may take 20 males and 30 females, but today we are taking 20 males and 20 females, but we are going to conduct the study by taking equal sample sizes, 20 each. What will be the objective? The objective of the study shall be to find out the significant difference between males and females in relation to aggression. Which statistical technique will be used? Not t-test, independent t-test. To compare aggression between males and females, independent t-test will be used. Is it okay? Okay. What type of studies are conducted? What will be the nature of the study? Nature is survey. We are not conducting any experiment. We are not giving any treatment. It means independent t-test is used to conduct survey. What type of survey? Comparative survey. We will do practically also. Again I repeat, for independent t-test, our today's hypothetical example is comparison of aggression between males and females. We have two groups, male, female. We are going to conduct this study by taking equal sample sizes, 20 male, 20 female. But this can be applied in case of unequal sample size also. Next is dependent t-test. Next one is dependent t-test. Dependent t-test. By how many names independent t-test is known? Same, dependent t-test is also known by 4 different names in different literatures. One name is in front of us, dependent t-test. Another is correlated t-test. Next one is paired t-test. One more name is in tradition, that is repeated measure t-test. Again I repeat the four names: dependent t-test, correlated t-test, paired t-test, repeated measure t-test. What was our hypothetical title for independent t-test? Comparison of aggression between male and female. Before discussing about the application of dependent t-test, let's formulate a title. Effect of morning walk on blood pressure. Effect of morning walk on blood pressure. How the study will be conducted? First you will take the pre-test of the blood pressure, then you will give the treatment of morning walk. Morning walk will be considered as a treatment, suppose for 1 month, and after the completion of 1 month, what you will do? You will collect the data for post test, and we are going to compare pre versus post. It means dependent t-test is used to compare two different observations of the same group. Dependent t-test is used to compare two different observations of the same group. Dependent t-test is used to compare the two different scores of the same group. In our example, two scores are pre and post. In independent t-test, there were two columns, male and female, both were independent. Here also, in case of dependent t-test, we have two columns, pre and post. Now, we have discussed that independent t-test is used to conduct survey studies. What type of survey? Comparative survey. If I ask a question, by using dependent t-test, what type of studies are conducted? Answer will be dependent t-test is used to conduct experimental studies. Effect of morning walk on blood pressure. This is experimental study. We are giving a treatment, and in our hypothetical example, treatment is morning walk. Treatment is morning walk. Okay. Third type of t-test, one sample t-test. Third t-test is one sample t-test. One sample t-test. What was our title for independent t-test? Comparison of aggression between males and females. What was our title for dependent t-test? Effect of morning walk on blood pressure. How many observations we have in this? Two, pre and post. Let's formulate a title for one sample t-test. Please keep in your mind, I didn't see in my career any other name of this one sample t-test. This is known by a single name, one sample t-test. Suppose 20 females are attending this course, suppose, and all girls are impressed by Brahmakumari Shivani. Ki Brahmakumari Shivani do not have stress, but we have stress. The whole group consisting of how many subjects? 20 females. This group, 20 females, want to compare their stress level with the stress of Brahmakumari Shivani. It means this one sample t-test is a statistical tool which is used to compare a group with a single value. On one side, group is of 20 females and single value is stress score of Brahmakumari Shivani. It means, let's formulate title. Comparison of the stress of stress between Bilaspur females and Brahmakumari Shivani. Is it okay? Clear? What type of studies are conducted? One sample t-test. See, you will find this technique. This technique is very oftenly used in commerce researches, business researches, economic researches. For example, comparison of the production of 10 different companies with their target. target is fixed. So we can say that this technique is used to compare a group with a fixed value. This technique is used to compare a group with a target. This technique is used to compare a group with a specified constant. This technique is used to compare a group with a fixed value. This technique is used to compare a group with a normative value. Condition is one side there will be a group, on another side there will be a single value. Is it okay? Now we will discuss about the practical applications of all these t-tests one by one. Independent t-test, dependent t-test and one sample t-test. We will discuss one by one. See, by using SPSS, but you have to cooperate. Let's start with the first. Satisfactory answers are required. My first question is, now we are going to discuss about the application of independent t-test. What is our today's hypothetical title? Comparison of aggression between males and females. How many groups we have? Two groups. How many? What is our sample size? 40, 20 in each. I am going to enter the scores. Requirement number one. How many scores we have? 40. All the 40 scores will be entered in the single column. First condition. All the in SPSS. If we want to calculate by using SPSS, we have to enter all 40 scores in a single column. What is our variable? Aggression. I am taking this score in a single digit. I am entering the scores of the aggression of males first. First 20 scores are belongs to males. Now I entered the aggression scores of males. Now I am going to enter the score of aggression of females. 20 scores. Next 20. Now I entered all 20 aggression scores of females. Is it okay? Yes, sir. Now we have to inform this software, we have to inform this SPSS that first 20 scores are of males and next 20 scores are of female. Give a label. Suppose one stand, you can give any value. One stands for, I am going to write 1 in front of 20 scores. Is it okay? Suppose I am giving the command 2 stands for females. I entered the. Is it okay? Yes, sir. Now go to variable view. Go to variable view. In first column we have the scores of aggression. Aggression of both male as well as female. So write down the aggression. In the second column, you can write down the gender, you can write down the group also. That will be as per your choice. We can write down groups. We have 2 groups, male, female. We can write down the gender. We have 2 genders, male and female. Suppose now I am using the word gender. Is it okay? How many genders we have? 2, male and female in this study. But we have to give the command to this SPSS key. 1 stands for male and 2 stands for female. In front of the gender, go to this value and click on this and write down the value 1. 1 stands for males. Add this score. And 2 stands for females. Add on this. Click on OK. Now the data entry is complete. The data entry is complete. Is it okay? Now you may write down the commands. Go to analyze. Go to compare means. Go to independent sample t-test. Is it okay? Click on this and bring this aggression in test variable and gender in the grouping variable. After bringing gender in the grouping variable, click on define groups. How many groups we have? And these are denoted by 1 and 2. 1 and 2. By numeric value 1 and 2. Write down 1 and write down 2. Continue. Click on OK. The results will be in front of you. The results will be in front of you. See this. This my arrow cursor. Number of male is, female is 20. Mean of male is 7.65. Female is. After seeing the mean value, we can say that yes, there is a difference between the aggression level of males and females. Males possesses higher level of aggression in comparison to female. See the t value. T value is, see the significance at 2 tail. Value is 0, 0. Since this value is less than 0.05, it is concluded that significant difference is found between the aggression level of males and females. Males possesses higher level of aggression in comparison to females in this hypothetical example. If you have any doubt in case of this independent t-test, you may ask. Otherwise, I will proceed further. Any query? Two-tail test. If the value is significant at 2 tail, automatically that will be significant at 1 tail. So to avoid the hypothetical error, always see the value. It is suggested by the statisticians, always see the value at 2-tail test. See the value, two-tailed test. Is it okay? Any other question? Now we are going to discuss about dependent t-test. Now we are going to discuss about dependent t-test. What was our hypothetical title for today? Effect of morning walk on blood pressure. How many subjects you are going to conduct the study? On how many subjects? My question is, on how many subjects you are going to conduct this study? 40, 20 let's conduct on 20. In case of independent test, how many subjects were there? 40. And how many scores were there? 40. In this, how many subjects we have? 20. And how many scores we have? 40. Since we have two different observations, two different scores of the same group, we are going to, then we started our study. Suppose we are going to collect the data at initial level. At initial level, I mean we are going to collect data for pre-test. Okay. Blood pressure of pre-test. Okay. We have collected data for pre-test. Then what you will do? You will give the treatment. Treatment is? Madam, you will collect data post-test after the completion of the treatment. We are discussing about the methodology, process of the study. After collecting pre-test scores, you have to give treatment. For how many days? For 1 month. Okay, 1 month is completed. Then post-test, you have to collect the data for post-test. After completion of the collection of the okay, now data entry is complete. We have collected the data. Go to variable view. See the difference. In independent t-test, in how many columns we entered all the scores? In one column. In this, we have to enter all the scores in two different columns. In this, we have to enter all the scores in two different columns. Is it okay? So there is no need to give the value and label. There is no need to tell कि 1 stands for pre and 2 stands for post test, since we entered in separate columns. In that, in case of independent t-test, we have given the value 1 stands for male, 2 stands for female, since we have entered all the scores in a single column. Here in this example, we entered in different columns. There is no need to give the label. Give the heading to the column. First column pre, second column post. Data entry is complete. Data entry is complete. Now write down the commands. Go to analyze. Go to compare means. Go to paired sample t-test. Earlier I have said that this technique is known by 4 different names. Dependent t-test, paired t-test, correlated t-test, repeated measure t-test. And make a pair pre versus post. Click on OK. The results will be in front of you. What is the mean value of pre? 85.85. Post 77.15. And t value is 7.165. And this is significant at 2 tail. Yes, there is a significant effect of morning walk on blood pressure. Blood pressure reduces after 1 month morning walk. This will be the conclusion. So we have discussed about the application of 2 different types of t-tests, independent t-test and dependent t-test. If you have any query in this also, you can ask any question without hesitation. Otherwise, we will discuss about one more type of t-test.
Level of significance here we have taken 5% level of significance, and we are getting the t-test results to in the previous two tests we have always we got 0.007.
Wait. See, his question is, the answer is also, the answer will be beneficial for you also. His question is, कि sir, we conduct our studies at 0.05 level of significance. In earlier the value was 0.00. In this also the value is 0.00. What does it mean? His question is this. Is it okay? First we should have an idea about what do you mean by the level of significance. Please tell me, what do you mean by level of significance?
The expected error.
Expected error. This is a theoretical. In layman's language, we can say that the level of significance is an imaginary line that differentiates that the occurrence of event is by chance or not by chance. And we believe that not by chance means our confidence level is 95%, and by chance means our significance level is 5%. Okay? Is it okay? Since in the beginning of my class, in the beginning of my session, I have said that statistical laws are not exact. We get probable answer. And our confidence level in social sciences, our confidence level is 95%. But the scholars associated with scientific subjects, they conduct their studies at 0.01 level of significance. They believe that since we conduct our studies in controlled conditions, so our confidence level is 99% and significance level is only 1%. Okay, how to take? 0.00 means that is less than 0.05. 0.01 means less than 0.05. 0.002 less than. This value should be less than 0.05. Since this is highly significant, so this value is 0.00. Is it okay? This should be less than 0.05. Is it okay? Next. Now we are going to discuss about the application of one sample t-test. We are going to discuss about the application of one sample t-test. What is our hypothetical example? Comparison of the stress level of the Bilaspur film with the stress of Brahmkumari Shivani. Again I repeat, comparison of the stress level of Bilaspur females with the stress of Brahmkumari Shivani. On how many subjects you conducted this study? 20. And you have the score of Shivani, Brahmkumari Shivani. What is the stress score of Brahmkumari Shivani? Suppose. No, no. What is the exact score? 7-8. Exact score is 7-8. 7-8 means, it means you measured the highest value may be 100%. Out of 100%, what is 78? Is it okay? Now I am going to enter the 20 scores of Bilaspur females. These are the stress scores of Bilaspur 20 females belongs to Bilaspur. Now I entered the score. Is it okay? Data entry is complete. Go to variable view. You may give any name. Stress of Bilaspur females. Is it okay? In abbreviation I have written stress of Bilaspur females. Is it okay? Now, about which technique we are going to discuss? One sample t-test. Go to analyze, go to compare means, go to one sample t-test, bring the score of stress of Bilaspur females into test variable, and that our test value is 70. Write down 78 here, click on OK. See, the mean value of this group is 74 and the mean value of another group is 78. Single score, the mean of the single score is same. We are, again I repeat, we compare the means of two groups. Mean of one is 74.65, mean of another is 78, and see the value is 1 point. This is not significant. There is no significant difference between the stress level of Bilaspur females and Brahmkumari Shivani stress. Is it okay? Sure. Go to analyze, go to compare means, go to one sample t-test, bring this variable in this and write down the test value here in the, click on OK. Is it okay? We have discussed about the application of all different types of t-tests. See, analyze, compare means one sample t-test, click on OK. Please ask. It is, so I have said, since the value of significance is higher than 0.05, I have said there is no significant difference. Already I have said.
If that will be less than 0.05, then
There is a difference. If this is higher than, we have discussed about 3 different types of t-test. Independent t-test, dependent t-test, one sample t-test. In 2 previous examples, the value of significance at 2 tail was less than 0.05. I have said there is a significant difference between males and females. There is a significant effect of morning walk on blood pressure. Here there is no significant difference between 2. Okay. Now, if you have any question, you may ask. Otherwise, I will proceed to the next part of. Yes, please ask.
when we are calculating manually, then there we compare the calculated value with
Yes.
table value.
See. His question is, every teacher has their own way and expect on. Please cooperate me. His question is, if we calculate manually, then we take different type of decisions. See, please see, I will show you. If we calculate manually, what we do, see, please try to understand. We have discussed about these statistical tools, and see, the definition of t-test is a statistical technique used to find out the significant difference between the means of two samples. How many t-tests are there? We have discussed independent, dependent, one sample. Is it okay? First was independent t-test to find out the significant difference between the, see the word, two independent samples. Is it okay? Different names are see this formula, gentlemen, see the formula, and example is comparison of myoglobin between males and females. In our example today, we compared aggression between, in this myoglobin comparison between male and female. See, these are the raw scores of male and female. We put the value, the calculated value is it okay? How to take decisions? So we have to see this value in a table at 0.05 level of significance and at degree of freedom, and the value is, our calculated value is not less than, gentlemen, our calculated value is 0.05. Here there is no concept of less than or greater than. This will be, is it okay? Our calculated value in this hypothetical example is, and our tabulated value is 2. If the calculated value is greater than the tabulated value, significant difference is there. If the calculated value is lower than the tabulated value, no significant difference is there. But nowadays, there is no need to compare the calculated value with the tabulated value. Why? Since automatically we receive the significance, exact significance level, what is the need to compare? This method was adopted when we were not having any option of calculating significance level directly by the help of software. Is it okay? Gentlemen, suppose in case of the independent t-test, our title was comparison of aggression between male and female. We have to apply independent t-test. Why? To compare aggression level of males and females. By applying technique, we get t value, and we can take, how to take decisions? We can take decisions, we can conclude by adopting two ways. One way is by comparing calculated value with the tabulated value. Is it okay? If the calculated value is higher than the tabulated value, significant difference is there. If the calculated value is lower than the tabulated value, no significant difference is there. Is it okay? Another way is by seeing the significance value. If the significance value is less than 0.05, significant difference is there. If the value is higher than 0.05, no significant difference is there. This was the old method. Since earlier there was no provision of calculating significance level directly, but nowadays we have different softwares. There is a long list of softwares including Excel also, the facilities in Excel also, in Microsoft Excel, in SPSS, in Minitab, Statista, Statistica. There is a long list of software, all provide us exact significance level. So nowadays my suggestion is there is no need to compare calculated value with the tabulated value to take decisions. But if you want to take, you can take by this method also. Easiest way is, if the value of significance is less than 0.05, significant difference is there. That's all. Any other question? Now, before break, we will discuss about one more technique. Yes. Now we will discuss about one more technique. Now we are going to discuss about the comparison among more than two groups. We are going to discuss about the comparisons among more than two groups. If we want to compare more than two groups, the technique which is used is known as ANOVA, ANOVA, analysis of variance. Analysis of variance is a statistical technique used to find out the significant difference among the means of more than two samples. To compare two groups, we have to use t-test, but in three different ways. And to compare more than two groups, we have to use ANOVA, but there are different types of analysis of variances. It means more than two groups can be compared in different ways. The first one is one-way ANOVA. First technique is one-way ANOVA. The first technique is one-way ANOVA, one-way analysis of variance. One-way analysis of variance. What was our title for independent t-test? Comparison of aggression between male and female. In layman's language, we can say that one-way ANOVA is an extension of independent t-test. In layman's language, is an extension of independent. The independent t-test is used to compare two independent groups, and one-way ANOVA is used to compare more than two independent groups. Let's formulate a title: comparison of aggression between arts, commerce and science students. We have three groups: art students, commerce students and science students. Again I repeat the title: comparison of aggression between arts, commerce and science students. Comparison of aggression between arts, commerce and science students. How many groups we have? In our hypothetical example, we have three, but you may have n numbers of groups. It means more than two. Okay.
Yes, sir.
On how many subjects you are going to conduct the study, since we are going to do practically also? On how many subjects? 60. 20, 20, 20. Same as independent t-test, this one-way ANOVA can be applied with the equal sample size, can be applied in unequal sample size also. But today we are taking 20 arts, 20 commerce and 20 science students. But you can take 20 arts, 15 commerce, 36 science. You can, means this technique can be applied by taking equal sample size and unequal sample size. Is it okay? Next. Independent t-test is known by how many names? 4. That is applicable here also. This one-way ANOVA is known by two different names. One is one-way ANOVA. Another is simple ANOVA. Simple ANOVA. And one more name is also in tradition, that is given in a software, that is Microsoft Excel, and that is ANOVA single factor. ANOVA single factor. It means we can say that we have three names. One way ANOVA, simple ANOVA, ANOVA single factor. Is it okay? And our today's title is Comparison of Aggression between Arts, Commerce and Science students. Is it okay? What type of studies are conducted by this? Madam, one way ANOVA is a name of the statistical tool. What type of studies are conducted by this? What type of studies? Comparative survey. Nature of the study will be same as independent t-test. We have discussed that independent t-test is used to conduct comparative survey, same as this comparative survey, same as independent t-test. In this also, the study will be comparative survey. Okay. Now, before proceeding further, we will discuss about the application of this. Now, we are going to do by using SPSS. How many groups we have? 3 groups. Which one? Arts, Commerce, Science. In layman's language, we can say that this technique is an extension of independent t-test. Yes. In independent t-test, in how many columns we entered all the scores? It means we have to enter all the scores in a single column in this technique also. I am going to enter how many scores? 60 of aggression. I entered the 20 scores of arts group. Now I am going to enter the next 20 scores of commerce group, commerce students. I also entered the scores of commerce students. Now I am going to enter the scores of science students. Since we are going to conduct this study by taking equal sample size, I am going to enter 20 scores of science group. I entered all the scores. Sample size is 60. 20, 20, 20 in each group, arts, commerce and science. Since this is an extension of independent t-test, we entered all the scores in a single column. In independent t-test, please recall, we have given the label, 1 stands for male, 2 stands for female. Same way, we have to give the value, 1 stands for arts, 2 stands for commerce, 3 stands for science. Okay. I am entering 1 in front of arts. I am going to enter in front of, I am going to enter in front of, okay. Now go to variable view. In the first column, all the scores are related to aggression. Write down aggression. Yes. In the second column, groups. Groups, or you can write down the subjects also. Huh? Groups, how many groups we have?
3.
In front of the group, go to values, same as independent t-test. 1 stand for? Write down arts. Add. 2 stands for? Add. Click on, sorry, 3. 3 stands for? Science. Add this. Click on OK. Data entry is complete. Write down the commands. Go to analyze. Go to compare means. Go to one way ANOVA. Bring aggression independent list groups in this. And you may opt for descriptive also. You may go for descriptive also. Continue, click on OK. The results will be in front of you. See my arrow. Number of art students is commerce 20, Total is 60. Mean for this 6.65 for arts, 6.20 for commerce, 7 for science. See the F value. Is it significant? No. See the is it significant or not? This is a significant. The value is 0.009. This value is highly significant. It's lower than the 0.05. We can say that yes, there is a significant difference between the aggression of arts, commerce and science students. Is it okay? Now we will extend this story. Yes?
While interpreting, we have to see only that significance level of significance.
Now, please try to understand. In independent test, how many groups were there? 2. If the significant difference exists, we can say that there is a significant difference. If insignificant difference exists, we can say that no significant difference. But in this case, if the insignificant difference exists, please try to understand my point. If insignificant difference exists, the study ends. Okay, no significant difference is found among arts, science and commerce students in relation to aggression. But if the significant difference exists, in this there may be possibility that difference may be there in between arts, commerce, may not be between science and commerce. If the significant difference exists, then we have to compare paired means. We have to make paired of the means. How many means are there? 3 means, arts, commerce, science. So, how many possible pairs are there? 3. Arts versus commerce, arts versus science, commerce versus science. Again I repeat, if the significant difference exists, we have to extend the study. And to extend the study, I mean, we have to compare paired means. Is it okay? To compare paired means, we have to apply post hoc test. To compare paired means, we have to apply post hoc test. Is it okay? But there is a long list of post hoc test. There is a long list of post hoc test. But we require only one. So we should have an idea which post hoc test will be applied where. Since we conducted this study today by taking equal sample size 20, 20, 20 in each arts, commerce, science, in case of equal sample size, it is suggested to apply LSD post hoc test. Please note, in case of equal sample size, it is suggested to apply LSD post hoc test. LSD means least significant difference post hoc test. Is it okay? If we conduct our study by taking unequal sample size, in that case apply Scafe's post hoc test. Scafe's post hoc test. Okay. So what we should apply, which post hoc test will be applied here? LSD. See, without saving I am closing this. Please tell me the command from where I should start. Please tell me. Yes, please wait one by one. Analyze, then. Okay, compare means then. Okay, now where is post hoc? Yes, I did. Yes, first this one. Continue. Click on OK. Now see this. See this. This is arts versus commerce. What is the value for art versus commerce? 0.078. It means no significant difference is found between arts and commerce. Arts and commerce students possesses the same level of aggression. Is it okay? Next comparison is arts versus. What is the value? There is no difference between arts and science also. Which pair remains? Which pair remains? Commerce versus science. See the commerce versus science. Yes, there is a difference between the commerce versus science. Out of 3 pairs, only significant difference exists in case of only one pair, and the pair is commerce and science. It means we will write down the 4 conclusions. Conclusion number 1, significant difference is found between the aggregation of arts, commerce and science students. Is it okay? Since significant difference is found, the post hoc test, LSD post hoc test is applied to compare paired means. Second conclusion will be insignificant difference is found between the arts and commerce students. Third conclusion, insignificant difference is found between the arts and science students. And the last one is significant difference exists between the commerce and science students. Is it okay? It's very clear. Now we have discussed in detail about the one-way ANOVA. We have discussed about how many techniques? About how many techniques we have discussed? 4 techniques. Independent t-test, dependent t-test, one sample t-test and one-way ANOVA. We have discussed about the